The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Today we have a different setup, and we have some furry guests with us today. And we have these two lovely ladies who are really from the most incredible foundation, and I just think it's amazing, and it's really an honor having you guys on the Those Left Behind Foundation, which is so cool, and you cover so many different things. I mean, it's just amazing, and like I said, really an honor to have you guys on. So why don't you introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about it, and then these two cutie pies.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate it. My name is Ray Erickson. We're with Those Left Behind Foundation. We are an animal rescue. We also go a little bit further beyond the animal rescue. So I'll get more into that, but go, Diane.
I'm Diane Meyer, and I am with Those Left Behind Foundation, and I've been with Ray for probably about 5 or 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's not crazy yet. It's great.
Well, I hide it very well.
And so why don't you explain what Those Left Behind Foundation is? Because like I said, they really do cover everything, and it's so cool. And you have the cutest dogs I have ever seen in my life. So why don't you talk a little bit about it and what you guys actually do?
Okay, well, we started out fundamentally because there is such a need with the transients here in Vegas. A lot of people move here with their pets, but unfortunately, they don't move with their families. So when it comes to the point that they're entering hospice or the hospital, they have nowhere for their pets to go. So we started a HOPE program called Helping Our Pets in Emergencies. And basically what that does is it gets you signed up, helps us know your pet. We make sure that they're vaccinated because they are going to be in foster homes. And then slowly we take them when you go into hospice, then we take your pet in to see you. We have even been there at the passing of the owners. The pets stay with us, and then if they're too old, which a lot of pets are, then they just go into the hospice care of our own rescue. Otherwise, they can be adopted out. Then we expanded out because then there became a need of people needing food. We found out it was easier to keep pets in the home if we provided food to the elderly. A lot of times that's the one thing that will remove a pet from a home with the elderly. So now we provide food for over 150 elderly clients and families to make sure that they're taken care of. Then it got bigger again. And basically then we started feeding veterans because we feel like we owe them. And now we are feeding over 45 veterans in the community also. So. And I'll go into the new program, but I'll let Diane do that. Go for it, girlfriend.
Here, let me talk about something? Okay. Currently, we're in the process of trying to launch our 3P, which is our pets, puppies, prisoners, and patriots. It's still new. We've been working on it diligently for the last several weeks. And what we're hoping to do, because the euthanasia rate is so high on animals, we go into some of these smaller shelters in the surrounding areas, and we want to be able to pull the animals that are in jeopardy of being euthanized. And by pulling those animals, we're hoping to be able to put them into prisons where the prisoners are able to train them on the basic steps, the sit, the walk well on a leash, the heel, the general training of the making of a good dog, the AKC's good citizenship. That's the basis of the training. And then Rex in the City, those are two of the programs that we're going to be using, so that when they're done with their 12-week stint with the prisoner, they will be able to go into a home and be able to be a good dog. Then what we're hoping is that when we get that dog back after 12 weeks, that we'll be able to place it with a veteran Now the veteran has this really great dog, whether it be for companionship, or they could pursue possibly having a great therapy dog, or whatever they want to do with that. At that point, if the dog is placed with a veteran, then we are going to go ahead and provide the dog food. We will provide the annual routine medical care and treats for that veteran. So they're basically getting the whole package deal. Again, we want to be able to provide for our veterans and make sure that they're taken care of.
That is just, I mean, truly, it's amazing, and like it's so touching because, like you said, the veterans, we owe them so much, and unfortunately, there are incredible organizations out there, but they still don't get everything they deserve, and they're still in poverty, which is just baffling to me. But they really are amazing, and they put their life on the line so we could all have the lives we have, and then on top of it, it's also helping the prisoners too.
Yes.
And helping them have hope and see a better future. And dogs are just, I mean, who doesn't love dogs? And if you don't love dogs, you're insane. And I mean, really, it would help them too. I mean, what a cool program.
We have found through our research that the recidivism rate, which is the prisoners going back into the prison program, when they work with animals and use this kind of program, it goes from 75% where they end up going back into prison to less than 20%.
Wow.
Also, we're hoping by the prisoners training the pups that they will be learning a skill for the outside world. They can go into training, they can go into dog daycare, they can go into a lot of things.
Yeah.
And your veterans get great dogs. So unfortunately, there's so many aspects to what we do. On top of adoptions, which we do adoptions every Saturday at the Petco on West Sahara from 10 to 2. Come adopt a puppy. They all need adoption.
Yes. And I mean, you have the cutest dogs I've ever seen. And you have them from all different ages. You have baby puppies and you have older. I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah, we do. We have a wide range.
Yes, and every type of dog you could ever possibly want, too. They're so
That
cool.
we do.
And these two guys also work in the school system. We are currently in 3 schools. We're in Bonanza High School, Givens Elementary, and Ober Elementary. We work with autistic children and behavioral children who have aspects to their personality where they are afraid to touch or be touched. We have found that we can walk in the room with these dogs and they lay down just like this, totally worthless dogs, just having a good time. And the children that normally won't touch will come up and touch the dogs and interact with the animals. So that's another aspect of what we do. We're busy.
That is so cool.
She's busy. I just sit around a lot.
No, but I have to ask, what made you even want to do this? Because first of all, I can only imagine the amount of work it has to be, and time and money. I mean, everything. It's a lot for you guys. So how did you want to start doing this? And it's a really big commitment to do this, for sure.
That's huge.
I will speak for me, and then you can speak for you. Basically, I started out by volunteering with another rescue group. And though they were a really good rescue group, they only handled one aspect. And I saw so many holes in what needed to be done. Right. You know, what about the elderly? What about the veterans? What about the children? What about, well, we don't want to spread ourselves too thin. And I, on the other hand, just went insane and went out there and decided I could be as thin as possible. It's not working, folks, but I'm working on it. And you can go ahead and say how you got in this insanity.
Well, I made the, I don't want to say mistake, because it was probably a really good day, the day that I crossed paths with Ray at the Petco when I was going to get dog food for my dogs. I had seen a dog there that I wanted to adopt, and she says, well, if you adopt for me, you have to foster for me. And so that was the way I got started with Ray. And so I've been doing that ever since. And some of my fostering has been good, some of it, well, even better, because I'm what is known as a foster failure, because I have gotten so very attached to some of the dogs that have had some really special needs that, you know, really didn't feel that they were emotionally up to the task of being adopted out to another family. Because let's just face it, when a dog has been surrendered or picked up as a stray or beaten or abused or whatever, they sometimes never quite go back to where they need to be emotionally. And so as a foster, you need to really be aware of that, and you can pick up on those things, and you can sense that if that dog can really go back into being with another person again. And so being a foster failure, you have to make those decisions. And there's been a few that I've decided that, you know what, they're just really not okay to go back into being a family dog again, or being in that situation again. So I've gone ahead and adopted them and kept them as my own. So Ray likes to joke and tell everybody that I'm a really bad foster failure. So, but anyway, that's how I got started with Ray. As far as jumping in on these programs with her, I've recently cut back on my work schedule, I guess you could say. And I saw the need that she needed help, and I truly believe in what she is doing. Yeah. They always say that it's not what you do, it's who you are. Mm-hmm. And this is truly who I am. It's not what I do. This is truly something that I believe in. And so I've been right beside her working on this project. And we really have put in some serious time and doing our research and doing, what we need to do to get this done. And we'll hopefully get it all accomplished.
Definitely, I know, and it's such a cool thing. And like I said, you do cover everything and stuff I never even really thought twice about, like even the hospice. And I know obviously you can't take it to every single hospice patient, but to bring their dogs to them, I mean, that alone will help them live way longer and be able to see their babies. I mean, that is just the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is. And it's a need that's out there that just a lot of rescues either don't have the personnel or the ability to do. Right. And unfortunately, with our hospice families, we can only take on so many because it's a time constraint. It may be a week, it may be a month, it may be whatever. Right. And we still have to find places for that. So anyone out there that wants to foster and help us, that's our biggest need, is fosters. Yeah. All of our animals live in homes. We do not believe in kenneling. Okay. They can kennel in the home, but I don't put them in kennels. I want our animals, the ones coming from hospice, they're terrified as it is. Right. You don't want to throw them into a kennel in the back of a room. They need to be with the family so they can mourn and they can adjust. These animals, like she was talking about, that are damaged, they've got to get into a family and figure out what the world is and what's going on with it.
Right. No, and it's so sad to see a lot of abandoned dogs and everything. Mm-hmm. And our animal shelters, we have some incredible ones out here. Yes, you do. But they're so overfilled, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. And they have to euthanize them. And I mean, for you guys to actually go out there and to save them and take a lot of them and give them chances, I mean, that is just the coolest thing in the world. It really is. Because that's a life. You're saving a life.
It is. And we look at it when we do this, we always look at it as though we're saving two lives. We're saving the life of the animal and the life of the person that adopts. Yes. Because we do get people in that are severely depressed, that are, what was that one lady who had lost her husband? I think it was like 6 months before. Mm-hmm. And she, remember Max, she came in and adopted this dog, and we didn't think anybody was going to take this dog seriously. He was one of those train wrecks. And she found him, and he found her, and I mean, she started going on walks, she started getting out of her house, she started engaging with people again. It saved her. That dog absolutely saved her, and they're inseparable. They even kind of look alike, but we won't say that.
That's funny. No, that's cool. And also, you just brought this up too. I didn't even know about this before I had you guys on. The giving the food to the family, that is so cool. And you were saying too, even 3 Square and stuff, they're amazing programs, but unfortunately some people give it to their dogs. Right. So that is so cool. Why don't you talk a little bit about that too?
Okay. Basically what happens in most of your programs, and feeding the elderly is extremely important, but the problem is that they feed just the humans in the house, basically. A lot of people with their animals, they are not going to let their animals have needs. It's not going to happen. So they will give some of their food. Then they're giving, those meals are balanced for a certain meal intake. Yeah. So then they start becoming malnourished. So our program is, and with the 150 families we have, basically is we get the food to them. So even though they're having food delivered for themselves, I'm making sure that the pet, the cat, the dog is taken care of. We always also make sure that they have treats, because whether you're a rescue dog, a home dog, or whatever, your dog deserves treats. I know that sounds stupid, but they deserve it. Right. So for that 150 families and for our 45 veterans that we provide food and treats for. And that helps us. The Petco Foundation is large in giving us grants to purchase food. They are wonderful. And also Purina is big. Purina Foundation also helps us and provides food. And then again, the community is bringing by food and treats. But again, that's 150 dogs or cats that won't go into the shelter, because if that couple can't afford to feed them, they take them into the shelter. So now you've got those 9, 10, and 11-year-old dogs in the shelter right now. Nobody wants to adopt a 9, 10, 11-year-old dog. And it would have been better off if it had stayed home. And all it is a bag of food and maybe some vaccines once a year. Easy.
That is just so cool. And it's little things like that. Like, honestly, I never even thought twice about that. And I mean, that's life-saving, really. I mean, how just incredible. Your whole entire foundation is incredible. But I think we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll be talking more about everything you do, because it really is amazing. And these cutie pies right over here.
Yeah, and the conked out dogs.
And we'll be right back.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad, they look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses, because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure that might be on the cap, remove the cap, take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away, because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank. But a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find. But in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak. You got to get this fixed, or there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufacturer recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Corey Taylor Talks live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Once again, I am here with Those Left Behind Foundation, which you've been talking about, all their incredible programs, and they really do. They cover everything that you could possibly think of, and more you could never think of. So, I mean, really, you guys are just incredible women, and I mean, everything you do, and I'm sure your whole team is just really phenomenal.
They really are.
Yeah.
And that is one thing I'd like to touch on, because you are so popular with the teens. We have some of the most wonderful teen volunteers, but we are always needing more teen volunteers for our organization. We are already certified through all the schools, so you can get your hours for school through volunteering. And a lot of our kids go on to college. One of our kids was accepted into the Texas A&M veterinary program this year. That's big.
Yeah.
Our kids, we've taken teens that are a little bit troubled and having issues. Their parents bring them to us, and we'll fix that. And we throw them right in there with the dogs. And I have teens that I've had 4 or 5 years, and they are fabulous. But we are always needing more teens, and we can help you get those volunteer hours too.
How perfect. I mean, and then you get to work with dogs.
And then you
how
get to sit
cool.
with the puppies.
Exactly. That's the best thing in the world. Oh my goodness. It's the best playing with dogs and everything.
Yes.
How can you even, oh my gosh. And then fostering too and stuff. I am always very interested by it, and I'm sure it's a lot of work and everything. So how do people get involved with fostering? And what
you're
do you
the
expect
foster.
from them?
Fostering. Fostering, we always need fosters. Basically, you just need to stop by and see us. Fostering just requires you providing the love. The rescue itself will provide all of the food, the medical care, and treats.
Kennels, anything you need.
you need for in the home. The foster just basically provides a home
How cool.
and lots of love for the animal. And you're basically evaluating the animal. This way, when someone comes and says, oh, what can you tell me about that dog? I'm kind of interested in adopting it. Does it get along with other dogs? Well, you can say, well, you know, by the way, yeah, that dog does great with other dogs, or it doesn't like little dogs, or it really doesn't like male dogs or female dogs, or children, or does like children a lot. Being a foster and fostering these animals in home really helps to be able to find that dog its forever home. And so that's why it's so important to be able to foster in private homes. So we're always in need of fosters.
I can't read anything.
And one other thing about it is also, if we cannot get more fosters, we cannot save the dogs. I can take as many dogs as I have fosters for.
Right.
So the more fosters I have, the more dogs that I am able to, and cats that I am able to save.
Of course. Yeah, and you know, it's such a cool thing, and I think I would be a foster failure too myself, because I can only imagine how hard it is, but you're helping these dogs and finding them incredible homes, and that is such a cool thing.
And even in his case, he was one that we pulled from a kill shelter, and you know, we saw great traits in him, and we thought it would be really great if we could use him for the school program.
Definitely.
So he is in my home. He'll probably be a forever foster because of the fact that we are using him in the school program, and he's doing great with the kids. And so here he went from being, you know, on that situation.
Now he's
So now he's like, okay, I'm like living the life here, and you know,
That's
here I
right.
am. I'm, you know. So
He's Anatolian and Mastiff, so he was pulled with his sister. He is only 18 months old, and basically he was, 3 days from euthanasia?
Yeah.
3 days from euthanasia when they called us. Since then, he has been working and training. He does great with the kids. The autistic teenagers love him. They do great. They really do. And he's such a sweet-tempered creature that you just don't realize what's out in those shelters that you could pull. This one, on the other hand, is kind of a spoiled, rotten princess. I lost my Springer about a year ago, and it devastated me. I mean, I went kind of insane. And my husband went out and went looking and found a Springer for me. And I'm in rescue, so I'm all big about getting the rescue dog, whatever. Yeah. And we found her, and she was a total princess. I'm sorry, folks. And I haven't done a thing to change it, and I should, but she's an English Springer, the field bench version, so she's really sweet. And they do so much work in the schools, it's amazing. Yeah. All they have to do is walk into a classroom and all the kids light up, and they are so excited. But there are so many dogs, you see these dogs, there are so many dogs out there and cats out there that are being euthanized that have all this personality and all this ability to change the world. They just need somebody to help them change the world.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys are really doing that. And I mean, they are lives, and they're so sweet, and I mean, look at them. They're the cutest little things. They're such good dogs. And you're changing lives, and I mean, to help children with autism and stuff too. And I'm sure it's hard for them, but they're such good dogs, and they really handle everything. I mean, that is just incredible, and it really shows how amazing you guys are for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
To be able to train them and everything, it's a lot of work. I mean, really.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I just go, Diane, I can't fix it here. Diane goes, okay. It's obvious because, see, she's got the good dog. I have the princess. So
No, they're both very good dogs. Very good dogs. But yeah, and so how can people help? I'm sure there's a million different ways to help, but why don't you name all of the ways? So any little way someone can help would work.
Fostering, we've already mentioned. Like I said, cats and dogs. Even if you don't think you can do big dogs, we place the foster with the dog that they want. Also, dog food, cat food, blankets, bedding. When you're cleaning the linens out and you're doing your spring cleaning, bring it to us. We always need that type thing. If you know friends or you have a club or a club project that you would like an idea of what to do, Bears of Las Vegas is one of the groups in town that always works with us, and they just did a blanket drive. And raise money. That's a big thing also, is if you're listening to everything that we are doing, you have to understand how expensive it is.
I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah, one bag of dog food can be $56 that we provide out. That's one bag. We're doing it for 150 families, 45 veterans, and all of our group. You know, simple things. Go to the store and check out a price of treats. Veterinary care. We always need funding for veterinary care. Some people are uncomfortable giving directly to a rescue because a lot of the donation places out there, they're just using up the money. We are a 100% all volunteer organization. Nobody receives a paycheck, trust me. My husband knows this. And he yells occasionally about it. But so every dollar we take in goes directly to the animals. You can give on our website. If you're uncomfortable, find out the veterinarians we use. Pay directly to our veterinarians. They will keep on our account. They will do positive. But, you know, one bag of dog food is $66. One collar, a decent Martindale collar that we have to use with the prisoners, that's $25. A bowl, maybe a buck or two, that's fine. But then we have to transport the animals. We have to transport the food. We have to get these animals to the schools. We have to outfit them with vests. They have to have medical care. Medical care runs about $200 every 6 months for these animals because we have to go beyond vetting with them. Our animals that we put into adoption are expensive. Sasha, we just did Sasha. We pulled her from the local animal shelter. She had laid there for 5 days in pain with a shattered leg with wire in it. We pulled her. We took her immediately to our vet. He looked at her. He said the leg needed to be amputated because somebody had fixed it previously and it didn't work. So we pulled her in, but before we could, she had to stay in the foster for a week to get healthy because she was very sick. So we had her deep cleaned her ears because no one had ever touched them, plus the amputation. So she was about $2,000 to $2,300 just to get her back and healthy. Then it was another month and a half to 2 months with the foster, this one, rehabbing her and getting her on 3 legs. She was adopted this past weekend. She is healthy as she can be, but her adoption fee is only $200. It doesn't cover any of the cost that we can put in on these pets. So that money, food, blankets, support, come out, join us, help us, fostering, volunteering, everything.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Did I nail everything?
Yeah, you forgot the dog about the eye that we fixed too.
Oh Lord, and then we took in another pregnant. It was a female that had just delivered, and her eye was literally coming out. So we had to nurse her for 8 weeks, got the puppies up, and then we took her right in, and they had to do an enucleation. That's 2 medicals in 1 month, and we're in the 5th month. I think we've had like 8 major medicals this year already.
Oh my goodness.
So that's why we say, you know, everybody thinks that rescues waste money. I'd love to know where they have the money to waste because I'd like to see it. Seriously.
No, of course.
Because every single dime we take in goes straight into the animals, straight into the community, straight into helping the elderly, straight into taking care of that hospice dog. Because those hospice dogs come in and they're old. They're diabetic. There's your insulin. They have seizures. There's your medications. They have ear issues. There's another vet visit. So it's just like it's an open running funnel out the door.
Yeah.
But
and we've also had to take in several litters of puppies where the mom just abandoned them.
Wow.
And we've been asked to take them in, and we've taken them in and had to bottle feed and
Oh my goodness.
all the little health
Formula.
issues that go along with that,
Yep.
and the formula and all the needs that a little newborn puppy has that hasn't even opened its eyes yet. So as a rescue, there's a lot more involved than just taking in a dog, let's say this age, versus one that's this big and has special needs that you have to be so careful with because it hasn't had its shots yet or anything else. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Are you tired yet?
I can't even, I mean, honestly though, that
We
just,
are.
Oh, I can bet, because that just shows how good of hearts you have too. And I mean, you're doing this all for them, and also I do really want to bring up the fact that all the money goes to them.
Yes.
I mean, that is just incredible, and it's a rare thing as well.
It
and
is.
I honestly, I have to say, if there's any animal foundation in the world to give to, this is them. I mean, truly, no, you guys do so much, and the more foster families,
Yes.
hopefully a lot of people from here will want to become fosters and donate. Even a bag of dog food would make
Yes.
such a huge difference, or a few dollars here and there. Any penny really does help.
Anything helps.
Literally every dog, you know, they come up and they go, well, I'm sorry, it's only $5. You know what? That $5 just bought half a bag of dog food,
Exactly.
or just bought half of a vaccination.
Yeah.
It's,
We had an elementary school that did a book drive.
Book
they did
drive.
a little book drive, and they raised, I don't remember what the amount was.
Joe
but-
Mackey Elementary School did it, and they did they raised $93 towards Sasha's surgery.
How cool.
And
And,
that
yeah.
was just beautiful. I mean,
course.
that's little kids that can scrape together their change and do what needs to
And
be
that's
done.
what they did for us, and they sent it to us with a little letter. And that was, to me, that was just so amazing, because here's children that realize that
How much is needed.
we needed it.
Yeah. And even I know a lot of directors here are listening and everything. Joe Lujan, who I love and everything, and we had him on a few weeks ago of Telephobia 2, which I was honored to be in. But he even donated his proceeds
Yes.
from it to you guys, and
Much
that's how I
appreciated.
found out about you guys in the first place.
Told you.
And it's so cool, and so anything you can help, fundraisers, any part. I mean, what an amazing place to give it to, truly.
And we are a 501c3, so everything that you donate is tax deductible. So hey,
There you go.
There we go. We need to make those tax
Yeah.
deductions. So yeah, it's people just don't realize how expensive it can be.
Yeah. Even if it's for selfish reasons, then donate here, because at least it's gone into a good place. So all the rich people that need it, there you
Yeah, let's find all of you out there.
go. But really, I mean, just incredible. And you women are amazing. I mean, to do that, and the volunteers and
Yes.
stuff, how cool, how cool.
I am really proud of my teens. I really am, because a lot of rescues, I don't know how many use them, but our teens go in the morning of adoptions. They set up everything. They handle the dogs. They talk. Part of it is they need to learn socialization skills. So they talk to the people who are interested in dogs. I don't talk to them right off. Those kids are right in there interviewing them and asking them questions and getting those skills that teach them leadership, okay? And if I walk up and my volunteer shakes their head like they're not crazy about whoever they're interviewing, I listen to my kids. My teens are smart. They are smart, they are aware, and I love them. And like I said, that's a wonderful opportunity for your school,
Yeah.
because now a lot of high schools have to have volunteer
Oh,
hours,
10 of
right?
them, yeah.
So, I mean, it's a great way for them to get their volunteer hours, and you get to play with the puppies.
Maybe you can't get any better.
Can't get any better.
And all you parents listening with troubled teens and stuff
Yes.
too. I didn't know that you guys
Yes.
do that. What a perfect place to do it. I mean, truly, at least make them useful for something.
Yes, absolutely. We've had a few teens in like that.
Lunch when they come and help
And
us.
they get lunch. Say, hey.
Wow,
feed them
there you go. Take care of them meals.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, you guys are just awesome. I mean, in every way possible, what you guys do, and all your different programs, and helping the veterans, and even prison. I mean, everything. You guys are really incredible people, and you're saving little
you.
doggies'
And
lives.
little doggies.
and humans' lives for
Yes,
sure.
very
That's
much
true.
so.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for
Thank
being on. It
you.
was truly
It
an
was
honor.
wonderful.
It was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Oh,
I'm
you
not near
too.
as scared as I was.
No, it's an honor, and I'm really passionate about this, and I will be spreading the word in any way possible
you.
I
Thank
can.
you so much.
And everybody, please follow us on Facebook.
Yes.
Our website is Those Left Behind Foundation. WWDB.com or .org. Make sure to put in the word foundation. It gets a little weird if you don't. Can't tell you why, don't know. And link through our Facebook through there. You follow us, you'll see the puppy videos, you'll see all kinds of things, and you'll see what our needs are and what's going on. And donate, donate, donate.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and you're helping save a bunch of lives. So really awesome. And thank you guys so much for being on.
you.
And everyone, please go check out everything. Any way you can help, even if it's, like I said, a few bucks, it does.
Yes.
It helps. It makes a
helps.
difference. So any way you possibly can would be amazing. Fundraisers, fosters, any way possible. Dog food, donate dog food. So. But please go and help them, check them out, and thank you so much for watching. And remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you, and God bless.